Did you know that some of the things seniors do at night could cause prostate cancer? If you're in your 60s, 70s, or 80s and waking up several times a night to pee, feeling pressure in your lower belly, or sensing something just isn't quite right down there, you're not alone. As someone who spent years listening to men talk about these issues in private, I can tell you this. Most prostate problems don't begin with age. They begin with habits. In this video, we're going to cover 5 specific nighttime mistakes that many seniors make without knowing the damage they're causing. These aren't wild theories or extreme warnings. They're backed by years of clinical experience. And they explain why some men keep struggling with an enlarged prostate, even when they think they're doing everything right. And what's most frustrating, these habits often feel harmless. A late glass of water, a heavy dinner, ignoring that bedtime urge to pee. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but to your prostate, these choices add up. Over time, they stretch, irritate, and wear down a gland that's already working overtime in your later years. Stay with me until the end of this video because we're not only going to name these 5 habits. We're going to give you ways to gently undo the damage. You might find that sleeping through the night, feeling lighter in your pelvis, and regaining your control starts with letting go of just one of these habits tonight. Let's begin. If you're finding this helpful, please subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Path and tap the bell so you won't miss future videos that make aging easier and kinder. Number 1. Drinking too much water before bed. One of the most common but overlooked habits that quietly put stress on the prostate is drinking too much water late at night. It's something most people do with good intentions. Staying hydrated is important, especially as we age. Doctors and health experts often remind us to drink enough water for our kidneys, digestion, and overall well-being. But what many men don't realize is that when you drink that water matters just as much as how much you drink. When the majority of your fluids are consumed after dinner, particularly in the 2 hours before going to bed, your bladder and prostate are forced to stay active long after your body should be resting. The prostate naturally tends to enlarge with age, and as it does, it narrows the passageway for urine and makes it harder to fully empty the bladder. So, when you fill your system with extra water right before sleep, your bladder fills faster and sends signals to wake you again and again throughout the night. It becomes a frustrating cycle. You drink to stay healthy, but that same habit robs you of deep, restorative sleep and adds silent pressure to your prostate. Over time, this constant nighttime strain can lead to inflammation, swelling, and a feeling of heaviness or incomplete emptying in the morning. I once spoke with an elderly gentleman named Walter, 82 years old, who told me he always drank 2 big glasses of water before bed because he believed it helped flush out toxins overnight. But he also admitted that he hadn't slept a full night in over 10 years. When I suggested he try shifting his water intake earlier in the day, drinking more in the morning and afternoon, and only taking small sips after 6 p.m., he was skeptical but agreed to try. Just 1 week later, he told me with a smile, "I thought I had a prostate problem. Turned out I had a timing problem." He was now waking up only once during the night instead of 4 or 5 times, and he felt more rested and light in the morning. This small change not only gave his bladder and prostate a break but also restored his energy and confidence. The truth is, your body still needs hydration, but it also needs peace during the night. By drinking more water throughout the day and letting your system rest in the evening, you're giving your prostate a chance to recover instead of constantly working overtime. If you do feel thirsty before bed, go slow. Take a small sip instead of a full glass, and listen to your body's signals. This small act of mindfulness can bring surprising relief. You'll likely find yourself sleeping deeper, waking up less often, and starting your mornings with a sense of lightness instead of fatigue. Sometimes it's not about doing more for your health, it's about doing the right things at the right time. And for your prostate, that timing can make all the difference. Number 2, eating salty or processed foods at night. Many older men don't realize that what they eat for dinner, especially salty or processed foods, can quietly make their prostate and bladder work harder through the night. It's a habit that feels harmless, a comforting bowl of soup, a few slices of deli meat, or a frozen dinner after a long day. But hidden inside these convenient meals are high amounts of sodium and preservatives that can silently disrupt your body's balance. Salt causes your body to hold on to water during the day, and when you finally go to bed, that stored fluid starts to release, forcing your bladder to wake you up again and again to get rid of it. That constant back and forth not only interrupts your rest but also puts extra pressure on your prostate, which is already sensitive in your later years. The more salt you eat, the more your kidneys, bladder, and prostate have to work while your body is supposed to be resting and healing. Over time, this nightly stress can lead to swelling, discomfort, and the feeling that you can never fully empty your bladder. I remember talking to a man named Glenn, who was 76. He came to me frustrated, saying, "I don't drink water late, I always go before bed, but I still wake up 3 or 4 times a night." When we talked about his meals, the reason became clear. Most nights, he was eating canned chili, microwave dinners, and salty snacks before bed. He thought they were quick, easy, and harmless, but his body was quietly paying the price. Once he switched to lighter dinners made from fresh foods, a piece of grilled fish, some steamed vegetables, maybe a small bowl of oatmeal or brown rice, he noticed a change in just a few nights. "I didn't realize how much tension was building up down there until I let it go," he told me. That simple shift helped reduce the pressure around his bladder and prostate, and for the first time in years, he woke up feeling rested. Salty and processed foods do more than just make you thirsty, they raise your blood pressure, reduce healthy circulation, and make it harder for your body to drain fluids smoothly. That means more swelling, more bathroom trips, and more restless sleep. But when you give your body gentle, natural food in the evening, your system can relax, repair, and restore itself the way it's meant to. If you want a peaceful night, try eating earlier and lighter. Choose home-cooked meals with simple, wholesome ingredients. A warm bowl of soup made from fresh vegetables, some lean protein like chicken or fish, and a little whole grain can make a huge difference. Your prostate, your heart, and your sleep will all benefit. Remember, every bite you take at night either helps your body rest or makes it work harder, and your prostate deserves the kind of care that lets it finally rest in peace. Number 3, holding in urine during the night. Many men, especially as they get older, wake up in the middle of the night with the urge to urinate but decide to ignore it, telling themselves, "I'll just go in the morning." It seems harmless, you're tired, comfortable, and don't want to leave your warm bed, but what feels like a small decision can quietly harm your bladder and prostate over time. When you hold in urine, your bladder keeps stretching to make room for more. The bladder is a muscle, and like any muscle, when it's overstretched again and again, it begins to lose strength and elasticity. This means it can no longer contract fully to empty itself, leaving behind small amounts of urine each time you go. That leftover urine becomes a problem. It's warm, moist, and still inside your body, which makes it a perfect place for bacteria to grow. Over time, this can lead to irritation, infections, and inflammation, all of which make prostate symptoms worse. And when the bladder is constantly full or under pressure, that pressure pushes back on the prostate and the surrounding area, making it even harder to urinate later. I remember an 81-year-old man named Leonard who had a long habit of waiting until morning no matter how bad the urge was. He told me, "I just hate getting out of bed in the dark, I'd rather wait." But over time, he started noticing tightness in his lower belly and a dull ache when he finally did go in the morning. He also felt like he could never quite empty his bladder fully. After talking, I encouraged him to simply get up and relieve himself whenever the urge came, even if it was only once or twice a night. Just a few days later, he noticed that the tightness had eased, and he described his mornings as lighter and more comfortable. Sometimes the body gives us small signals for a reason, and ignoring them sends the wrong message. Your body isn't trying to bother you, it's asking for relief. When you listen, you not only protect your prostate but also help your bladder stay strong and healthy. If you constantly hold urine at night, it's like asking your body to store stress while you sleep. That tension builds quietly, and by morning, you feel heavy and tired instead of refreshed. Of course, no one wants to wake up multiple times every night, but the solution isn't ignoring your bladder, it's adjusting your habits earlier, like drinking less water before bed or avoiding salty foods in the evening. Then, when your body does signal the need, respond to it. It's a small act of respect toward yourself and your health. Don't think of it as an inconvenience, think of it as giving your body permission to rest peacefully afterward. Over time, that gentle care adds up to a calmer bladder, a happier prostate, and nights where you finally wake up feeling rested, not relieved. Number 4. Sleeping on your stomach. Sleeping on your stomach might feel comfortable for a few minutes, especially if it's a position you've been used to for years, but as you get older, it quietly puts pressure on some of the most sensitive areas of your body, including your bladder and prostate. Many men don't realize that this simple habit can be one of the reasons they wake up during the night feeling discomfort, fullness, or the need to urinate frequently. When you sleep on your stomach, your body weight presses directly against your lower abdomen, where your bladder and prostate sit. This gentle but constant pressure can cause irritation and even mild inflammation over time, especially in men whose prostate is already sensitive or slightly enlarged. Instead of relaxing and restoring itself through the night, the prostate stays slightly compressed, which makes it harder for the bladder to fully empty. This means that even when you think you've gone to the bathroom completely, small amounts of urine can remain trapped, and as the night goes on, that leftover fluid keeps sending false alarms to your brain, waking you up repeatedly. I once spoke to an older gentleman named Henry who said, "I always sleep on my belly, it helps me fall asleep faster." But he also admitted that he woke up 3 or 4 times a night needing to go to the bathroom. When I suggested he try sleeping on his side for a week, the change surprised him. He called me later saying, "I didn't think it mattered, but I slept through most of the night for the first time in years." That small adjustment helped relieve the pressure that was silently irritating his prostate every night. Beyond the bladder and prostate, stomach sleeping can also affect your back and spine. As we age, the spine loses some of its natural flexibility, and lying face down can twist it out of alignment, putting extra stress on the lower back and pelvis, both areas closely connected to prostate and urinary comfort. Over time, this can cause stiffness, soreness, and even more strain on the pelvic muscles that support healthy urination. If you've been sleeping on your stomach for years, changing positions might feel strange at first, but it's worth the effort. Try sleeping on your side with a small pillow between your knees. It helps keep your spine aligned and relieves pressure from your lower body. You can also place a thin pillow under your waist to support your back if you tend to roll forward. These small comforts can make a big difference in how your body feels by morning. Think of your body at night as a garden that needs stillness to heal, not pressure or strain. When you allow your bladder and prostate to rest freely without being compressed, you give them the space they need to recover and function properly. So tonight, before you lie down, take a moment to think about how you're positioning your body. Sometimes, better sleep and a healthier prostate begin with something as simple as turning to your side and letting your body breathe in peace. Number 5. Ignoring the urge to urinate before bed. It's something many men do without thinking, getting ready for bed, feeling a slight urge to urinate, but deciding, "I'll go later," or "it's not that bad." You lie down, get comfortable, and try to fall asleep. But that small urge doesn't go away. Instead, it builds quietly through the night, forcing your bladder to stretch and your body to stay tense when it should be relaxing. Ignoring that simple signal before bed may seem like a harmless habit, but over time, it puts unnecessary stress on your bladder and prostate. When the bladder stays full for long periods, it pushes against the prostate, which can already be sensitive in older men. This constant pressure can lead to irritation, difficulty starting urination, or the feeling that you never completely empty your bladder. I once spoke to a kind, soft-spoken man named Samuel, who said, "I don't like interrupting my bedtime routine. I brush, say my prayers, lie down, and I don't want to get up again." But he noticed he'd wake up 2 or 3 hours later, uncomfortable, having to rush to the bathroom in the dark. His sleep was restless, and he always felt tired in the morning. I suggested something simple: make it a habit to go right before lying down, even if you don't feel the need strongly. Within a few nights, he noticed he was sleeping longer and deeper. He told me, "It's such a small thing, but it's made a big difference." What happens inside the body is quite simple. When the bladder is emptied before bed, it gives your body a fresh start for the night. Your prostate can relax, your kidneys can slow down their filtration, and your nervous system can focus on healing instead of sending constant reminders to get up and go. But when you ignore that natural urge, your bladder stays under pressure for hours, and this can weaken the muscles that help it function properly. Over time, it may even contribute to nighttime urgency, where you wake up suddenly with a strong, uncomfortable need to urinate. And for older men, getting up suddenly in the middle of the night can increase the risk of dizziness or falls, something that can be avoided simply by listening to your body beforehand. So tonight, before you crawl into bed, take a moment to pause and give your body that relief it's asking for. Think of it as a small act of self-care, a way of showing respect for your body's signals. You brush your teeth and wash your face before bed, emptying your bladder deserves the same attention. It's not just about avoiding a trip to the bathroom later, it's about protecting your rest, your prostate, and your peace of mind. When you take that one extra minute to listen to your body, you give yourself hours of uninterrupted, healing sleep, the kind that your body, especially as it grows older, truly deserves. So many men quietly accept urinary troubles as an inevitable part of aging, but often the real culprits are simple habits we can change. The late-night liquids, salty dinners, holding it in, stomach sleeping, and skipping that last trip, none are dramatic on their own, but together they pile pressure onto a gland already doing extra work. The good news is recovery usually starts with small, compassionate choices. Move most of your fluids earlier in the day, shave sodium from evening meals, respond to your body's signals, experiment with gentler sleep positions, and make the final bathroom trip part of your nightly routine. You don't need a miracle, you need small, consistent kindness to your body. Which of these 5 habits will you try to change tonight? Share in the comments. Your experience may help another man sleep better tomorrow. This video is for information and awareness and is not medical advice. If you have persistent symptoms, pain, blood in the urine, fever, or sudden changes, please consult your healthcare provider. As we grow older, small habits, like when we drink water, what we eat at night, or even how we sleep, can make a powerful difference in how our body feels and functions. Your bladder and prostate quietly support you every single day, yet they are often the first to suffer when we ignore simple signals. Taking small, mindful steps, going to the bathroom before bed, avoiding salty late-night snacks, changing sleeping positions, can bring more comfort, fewer nightly interruptions, and deeper, healing rest. Remember, your body is always communicating with you, it just needs you to listen. Aging gracefully isn't about doing something grand, it's about caring for yourself in the little moments that matter most. If you found this video helpful and want to keep learning simple, life-changing tips like these, make sure to subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Path and tap the bell icon so you never miss a new upload. Every week, we share practical wisdom, healthy aging advice, and motivational stories to help you live with comfort, dignity, and peace. Before you go, which of these nighttime habits do you think affects your sleep the most? Share your thoughts in the comments, your experience might help someone else too.